sometime what happens, the user wants some button over here, okay, and they want to do some kind of validation, or do they want to perform some action, or they want some button over here like some submit button, okay, or they want to download some excel from from they want to download some data, like if they get they are just filling the information here, they don't want to execute it, okay, then they want some button over here, 2 3 buttons, like if I would download this button, then this should happen, if I download this button, then this should happen, like this. So how can we create button over here? See, we have seen how to create check select options, how to create this parameters we have seen, okay, in this program. We have seen the another program we have seen, okay, we have seen how to create the check boxes also, okay, how we can create, likewise we can create the radio button also, like the type is radio button, so that also can be created. Now if you want to create some button, or like, but what do we call button, like submit button we have, right? This is also one button, okay, this change is also some button, this is also button. So likewise, if you want to give some button in the selection screen, so if you want to, if you're seeing this is above screen, right, over here, so that is also one of the selection screen. We are selecting one of the field, okay, this program is stored somewhere in the database. We are fetching this from the database, and if I click on display, what it does is, with this button event, it fetches the information and show us in this screen, okay. So likewise also, if you want to create some button over here, how we can do this in our classical report or our interactive report. So this you can create at any time, any what we call interactive also, as well as in classic also, based on your requirement, okay. So for that, what we'll do now, we'll just remove this part, not required, okay, for now, and parameters let it be, because we are not doing anything, okay, or we can create a new program, okay. So Z, I'll just give a program name Z, post button or submit button, and toolbar button. Submit and toolbar, we'll see two options over here, how we can create that. So I'll give both the name as a meaningful, okay. It is not required that you should give the name, but I'm giving like that, okay. Demo for toolbar and screen submit button. Always try to give the title as soon like as meaningful as possible, because when we search the programs and from the list, it makes us easier to search the program from the list, okay. So we'll create one program here, okay. So first thing is that we need two buttons, okay. How we can create buttons is we have to give selection screen first, okay. So we'll use selection screen, and then in the selection screen only we'll create two buttons actually, okay. So I'll just give p underscore button, and okay, not like that, so we have to give post buttons first, okay. Then we can give the name, okay, of the button, okay. So I'll just give as underscore bu button, okay. And then how we can give is, we have to give the command also. If I just give like that also, it will work, but if you're seeing is a dot, so it is expecting something else. If I'll see here, what are you expecting here, okay. So we have something called user command over here, okay. There is some issue with that, uh, but get with the issue. Post button we have given, okay, we might have to give, I think, some length issue, I think is there, okay. I think we have to give this thing called, I think it should work now, because we have to give the spacing where we are placing the button in the screen, okay. So that was the thing I was missing. Okay, user command we can give, or if we don't give the user command also, it will be okay. It's a problem. We have to give either modified it, like if you want to disappear that or reappear it. Okay, that also we can do, like visibility or invisibility, which we have seen in the last session. Okay, so here we'll give a user command like UC1. Mostly we give this name only. Okay, let's see if any button gets created. Check and activate. If I'll just see some button came up. Okay, but it is blank. We have not given any name for this. And if I'll go to and text element. Okay, selection text here, nothing is getting appeared. Like we gave a names, right, for select options, or we gave for parameters, but for buttons it is dynamically getting created, so this will not come for selection tag. So how we can give the heading for this? So we have to always go to this event called initialization. Okay, and then we can give the name for this button called as button equals to, I'll just give name as submit. Okay, save it. Let's check if any error comes. No error. Activate it and see now the button came as submit. Okay, why it is coming very large? Because we gave this much spaces, like 40. If I'll give 20, the button length will be small. See, so that's how we can give the big button or small button. If you want to give some more small button, see, based on your description or something, you should give the length of the button, and that should be displaying over screen. So if I just execute this, it is coming as small. Now if I want to do some command over here, right, on this button over here, so how we can do that command in the selection screen? Okay, so that is also possible from our side. So how we can do this? So we have been given some feature called SciU command all. Okay, so that as we'll see. So how we can see that we have to utilize our events which we have seen in the last. So I'll say at selection screen. Okay, now what should happen now? So if I'll say we have some parameters, system parameter, which holds some value at the runtime, like we have sciucom, which holds that even like which f code was used. See here, these many things are available at the runtime. So if I'll say sci, okay, see syntax or system things came. If I want to use the structure values, so that also can be used here. Sciucom will come. Okay, sci subrc will come. So all those things are runtime, and that will be available when the programs runs. Okay, so how we can do this thing is, for this, okay, for this thing there is one table structure which is being defined by SAP. So first we have to call it in our program, so that the program understand that we are gonna use that field. So the structure, so the structure name is SSCR fields. So this you have to remember actually when we are doing it. It is not written anywhere. Either we have to do some Google or something, then we'll be able to handy with these things. Okay, now this is the structure. If I'll go double click on this, what are the value over here? See, it holds a ucom. What is that? Means function code. If I'm pressing this button over here, okay, and okay, execute, okay, activate, I have to do. If I just press this button, okay, so which button was pressed? Like we can have one more button, we can have one more button, we can have one more button. So likewise, so which button was used? So that's this value being stored in uh, those size you come thing. Okay, so that we'll see how we can utilize that, or directly we can use this thing. Okay, so let's see here. I'll say when, or say if. Okay, if this SCR field equals to UC1, like if I'm giving this button name over here, okay, then give me a message that submit button was pressed, then type it. So let's check if any error comes. We'll see that. Okay, we have to give this in single quotes because this is not some value. UC1, I'll just give this as a capital also in the top, so that we do not see any error. Okay, and then close this. Let's check again if any syntax error. There is no syntax error. Activate it. Okay. If I just press F8 and if I click on this button, see it came, submit button was pressed. So we can write any event over here. Like if you want to validate some field also, you want to appear or disappear. See, we have used selection screen, right? So at selection screen and output thing, we can use this thing actually. This I'll go to debug mode so that it will be more understand for you, like which value we are storing and how we are storing these. Okay. So if I'll just execute, okay, I'll just go to debug mode so that it's more of clear to you, and I'll reshare my screen because you will not be able to see it. So new share screen and then debugger, allow. See, we came to this field directly. When I click on F8, if I just see with the value here, okay, it came only, okay, the value here. If I want to just double click on this, okay, this value was only, okay. If I see other values, it is all blank, right? So if I just execute normally, okay, nothing happened, and I'll just reshare my screen because it has gone to the main screen. Nothing happened. It came back to the main screen. Uh, yeah, it came back to the main screen. Now again, if I press the submit button, okay, if I press submit button, and again it will go to the debugger because we have put the debugger over here. So let's go to debugger again. Sorry guys to reshare the screen because I can share the screen only one screen at a time, but this comes as a pop-up, okay, and second screen gets open, so that's the reason I have to reshare the screen. If I just see what value is being held in this, see now the value which is, because I pressed that button, right, and I pressed this button, what's the value being held here is UC1, right? So UC1 came here, and now I'm checking, okay, if it is UC1 then only do this step. Similarly, what we can do, I'll just go back to that screen again and we'll create some more button, okay. So that also can be possible. I can create one more button if we required as per the business requirement. So we can similarly create one more button over here. So I'll just give push button, okay, and yeah, so that's fine, and it will be UC2. I'll give, okay, and I'll give button 1, 2, so that it's more clear. 1, I'll just copy this in the next submit, and then 2, okay, and if I'll just say exit, okay, if I'm missing anything, I'll just give comma over here because we have used change statement. Now it's fine, and it listen if system is issue and is fine. Else if, okay, I'll give just once else if, or we can use the case statement also. Case is mostly used in this kind of case scenarios, okay, but here I'm using if and else because we don't have much of cases available. So I'll just say UC2, and if EC2 press, then what we'll do, we'll just exit. Let's see what it happens. Save it and activate it. Okay, we got some error. Let's see what's the error. See, error is not bad. We learn more about from the errors. Okay, the name push button can be 8 character long. Okay, so I'll just give button 1, button 2. Okay, copy this, and we have to give the labels accordingly. Save it, check it. Any error? No, there is this time there's no error, and let's activate the code. And if I press F8 to execute the code, okay, it first came here. Okay, now we have two buttons, submit and exit. Okay, we can give these buttons one by one also with some settings. Okay, if I click on submit, we got a message called submit button pressed. If I just give an exit, okay, so I think that exit did not work. I'll just give some other thing, leave program, leave program. So let's see if it works. Fine. Okay, if I press exit, See, it came to the program. So that's how we can utilize these uses. Okay. So this is how we can create the button in our screen. Sometimes what happens, the user wants the button over here near the execute button like we have, right? So it is not executing anything. The user wants a button over here. Okay. That is also achievable. How we can do that? That also we'll see. So I'll just comment this code for now. Okay. And we recently got one requirement in our project that the user will create, sorry, I'll just reactivate it. So the requirement was like we have to give one program to the user that they can upload one Excel file and they have to update some tables. Okay. So for that, what they said that the user will not have the sample files. What we have to do is just give one button over here. So with that click, the sample file will get downloaded. Okay. So we just created one button over here, and accordingly the download file will be downloaded in our C drive or D drive, wherever we give the path, or we can ask user to choose the path also. So that is also possible with FMs which we available in the SAP. So currently I'll give a like create a program to just create one button over here. Okay. So first at least let's have one screen. So I'll just create one parameter. Okay. P underscore maintainer type maintainer, because we need a screen at least, right, to create the button in the screen. Okay. So we created one screen over here, like one parameter over here. Okay. Now how we can create the screen over here? So the main important thing is if you want to play with the screen or something, then this table is always required, that having the screen selection screen fields. The description also says selection screen and then fields. So likewise you can remember the name of this table if you want to write create any button, create any menu button or anything. Okay, so this is always required. Okay, so how we can create a button with that? Okay, so we have to use a selection screen itself. Okay, so we'll just use, see here also we have used selection screen, right? Because we are performing some action on the selection screen. So I'll just give selection screen. Okay, and then we can create one menu button over here. Okay, so how we can create a menu button directly? If you're creating multiple, then it's fine. If you're creating only one button, then here we have something called function key. Okay, so if you are going to create that in the toolbar here in that, so we can use this button over here. Okay, function key, and I'll just give F1. Okay, I can give any key actually, so I can give 1 2 3 or number, some number we have to give over here. Okay, just give like that. Okay, and then we can create our parameters later on after this screen. So let me create it here. Okay, because we going to do this on the top, and then later on below that the screen fill should visual. Okay, now after that what we have to do is we have to give the name, like we have given the name over here, right? In the initialization tab we give button name over here, submit and exit. Accordingly we have to give the name for this also in the initialization tab. Okay, so directly here for the select button we use this S button thing. Okay, so now I'll copy this, but for the menu button how we have to do is that we have to use this field SCCR fields. Okay, and then if I'll press space, we have seen, see last time we have used this ucom, right, to get the value for this button. Now we'll be using this function code 1, because we are using the only one key. If you are having two key, then we can utilize two. If you have three, then we can utilize the function code 3. Likewise we can utilize. Okay, so if I'll give what values we'll be giving here, we'll be giving the name of that thing. So I'll just give download. Okay, so that's how we can name this function key field in our system. Okay, any doubt till here, or we can move? So let's save it, check it and activate it. Let's see what happens if I just execute it. See, there is one option came here, download. Okay, we can give the icon also if you want to give the icon for this. Okay, that is also possible with our some FMs available in the system, that we can utilize for giving these icons also, like what kind of icon it is. And if you want to give only the name, then directly we can give a download name. Okay, now we want to read the value for that. Okay, so again we have seen here add selection screen, right? So that's how we can read the value from the selection screen. So add selection screen event. Okay, now how we have to read is we can read if condition, if, or we can use the case also this time. Okay, let's not use the case because we have only one field. So if is okay, if this thing, like, we have to utilize the SSCR field structure itself always, because it will hold all the values. Now here we have used these values, right? Like which value is available, which value is not available. So last time how we did it, that we directly used this field SSCR field UCC1. Okay, and we could have used that first structure which was available. Okay, I'll just save it and see, automatically the first value which was there in the UCOM, right? So directly it read the first value. If you want to give explicitly it, then how we can give, I can give that psi underscore UCOM. Okay, this will hold a value. Now what value it will hold actually? Okay, let's see the value first. Okay, before going to the screen. Okay, if I just give psi value, okay, I'll leave this as a debugger, save it, check it and activate it. So let's see first what this SCR fields hold actually. So if I just put a breakpoint so that the program will stop here. Okay, I just execute and click on this button. Okay, see, if I just click this one, it came here. But if I want to see what is there in this SCR field, it is only, right? And if I just double click on this, okay, you are not able to see the screen, right? Just give me a second. Yeah. So the program, when I clicked on execute button, right, it came directly here at selection screen to check if any event is written on that or not. So if I just click on this SCR field, it is having SciComm value as only, right? See, it is having value as only, and the function code text is download. See, we gave a function code text here, right? Download. So it's storing that value. If I just execute, nothing will happen. Okay. So I have to reset the screen. Now what we'll do, we'll go back. Okay, and we'll again execute it. Okay, this time we'll keep the button called download. We'll click on this button. Okay, so let's see what happens if I click on this download thing, and I have to reset the screen with you. Debugger, I have not clicked on any field yet, so that your doubt is clear. Okay, so if I just see what is coming in this SCR field, see, this time it came some other values. Okay, because we use this function code 01, right? And if I press, if there is any other button, this will come as FC02. If any third button is there, it will come as FC03. Likewise, it will come. So if I just double click on this, okay, open this field structure, see, it's told value of FC01 when we clicked on that download button. So we have to read this value. Okay, so this value is coming when we are just clicking on the button of download. If any other button is there, always check which value is coming in the SciComm, and then accordingly we have to write the logic in our program. Okay, so if I just say F8, execute it, and we'll go to program back. Okay, and then what I'll do, I'll just remove this breakpoint, not required. So I'll just uncomment this which we have written. So if SciComm value is, what we have seen there is FC01, right? And then what we have to do is we can write our logic over here, that write this statement in the table, or do some logic over here, do the loop, to do the select statement, validate the field, or do any event which you want to do in the programming. Okay, so I'll just say you just pressed download button from toolbar. That is called toolbar. The button which is there, it is called application toolbar. Okay, and I'll just give type I. So the I means informative message. That's all. Okay, save it, check it, and activate it. So if I just click on this button, okay, see, if we created this button, it's called screen field, okay, screen button or the output screen button. Okay, here if we are adding anything, so this is called application toolbar button. This is execute button also is there in this application toolbar button. Okay, and these are called menu. Okay, so this button which we call menu, and this I forgot the name, I'll let you know what do we call it. Okay, so if I just click on this download button now, see, first let's click on this execute button. Nothing is happening because we have not given any executable statement. We are not reading any information from the table, we are not looping, we are not displaying anything, so nothing is coming out. Okay, if I'll click on this download button, it will give me a pop-up saying you just press the download button from toolbar. So this is the logic which we have written on the click event of this download. Okay, so that's how we can create those buttons and the application buttons, and we can write our logic, business logic, based on the requirement. Any doubt, guys? I think I'll stop the recording now. We can have doubt sessions.